The Snoffs, written and narrated by Apollo Stark and illustrated by Sarah Tuk. Snoffs are vain creatures with rather large heads, and the bigger the belly, the better, it's said. They have 4 long arms with the largest of hands, their mouths are quite wide, and they're usually mad. One day 2 Snoffs accidentally met, and each one considered the other in debt. They quibbled and niggled and began to boast about who was the grandest and who owned the most. "My estate is the finest," first Snoff declared. "Pure nonsense, old chap," the second Snoff flared. "My home is the greatest, of that there's no doubt." "Balderdash," said the first, turning up his long snout. The second Snoff boasted, "I've a fantastic car. It's a Lambo Gofari and is ooh la la la." The first Snoff said rudely, "Well, mine's super duper, and it goes naught to quixie, unlike your old pooper." "Well, I have a cruise ship. It's moored in the bay. It's shiny, it's sleek, and glides through the waves. You can see it from here. It's big and divine. You can't have a cruise ship that's better than mine." With a wrist-twirling flourish, the first Snuff replied, "There's my ocean liner. It's moored alongside." The second Snuff raged, "No, it cannot be. There's no way you could own any bigger than me." The first Snuff gloated, "I think that I do. In fact, in all manners I am better than you. The clothes that I'm wearing are finer than yours. I wouldn't wear your rags, not even for chores." All day they squabbled. They argued a lot. When day turned to night, they still hadn't stopped. They taunted each other and squabbled some more, straight through the night to the following dawn. "We must settle this matter," the first Snuff cried, "in a snoffish manner that is tested and tried." "Very well," said the other, "we shall have a Snoff trial by the method known as the king of the pile." "The king of the pile would be the best test, and will finally put our difference to rest. Or shall we continue to stand here and bicker? Well, personally, I think a trial is quicker." They agreed to the method of snoffish repute and commanded their servants to prepare their loot. Said the first Snoff, "I suggest we begin. On the flick of a coin may the snoffishest win." The second Snoff grinned, for he won the coin toss. "Now," he declared, "you will see who has lots." He summoned his servants to build a huge stack. "Use all of my gold, do not hold any back." The first Snoff snuffled, then snorted. "That's the best you can do," he rudely retorted. He signalled his chauffeur to go fetch a van. "Bring all of my coinage as quick as you can." His coins were used to build up a pile, as the second Snoff watched with a smug, toothy smile. But when the last coin was put into place, neither Snoff found the scene to be quite to his taste. The heaps were equal. The Snoffs called for more. They emptied their safes that contained secret hoards. "Build up my pile!" each bossy Snoff shrieked. "Make sure that I have the highest peak." They had gathered all manner of things, like bracelets, bangles, tiaras and rings, platters of silver, chests brimming with gold, and sacks spilling coins where their seams wouldn't hold. One thing on top of another was placed, their untold treasures being handled in haste. The midday sun grew terribly hot as both Snoffs prepared for a race to the top. Their servants watched giggling. The Snoffs looked quite silly, for they hobbled and wobbled as they climbed willy-nilly. They climbed willy-nilly, slipping this way and that, huffing and puffing, for they were so fat. Still, the Snoffs clambered up their amassed wealth, heaving and wheezing because of their health. They scrambled like rats up the treasure's inclines, trampling their riches with one goal in mind. Over snuff quids and euros they raced to their peaks, as precious gems scattered about their feet. Baubles and trinkets of great craftsmanship were kicked to one side, and down the mound slipped. The Snoffs reached the top at the very same time, and the first Snoff shouted, "The victory is mine!" "No, it's not," roared the second. "You should agree that the victor stands tallest, which has to be me." The piles were wobbling. The Snoffs didn't care. Their disagreement had turned to despair. So, with hands full of jewels, they stood on tiptoes, and they are still arguing, as far as I know.